welcome everyone, one and all, to my reaction to Season 3, Episode 8 of Teen Wolf Visionary. So, last time, obviously, we had the very sad scene of Boyd's death, combined with them deciding to give us a flashback showing Erica's death as well, so it was like a double hit, which was very unkind. But on a more positive note, we did end the episode with not only Deaton seeing Scott's eyes and knowing what that means, but he actually told Scott. So now we know that they are both aware this is actually a thing now. So very excited to see how this develops, the idea of being a true alpha, you know, and what that really means, because we've been given a name, we've seen how it happens, but we don't really know what it is. So I am curious to see whether there's any like other abilities that come with being a true alpha, or if it is just purely a form of becoming an alpha and that's it, you know. I hope we get some more details on that as we go forward. But yes, with that said, very excited to get into it and see how things develop. So without further ado, let's go. Who is this? Isaac? Nah, that's someone we don't know. Oh, those are the things that the hunters use. I thought it looked familiar.
You're Hale, aren't you?
Flashback then, surely. Oh my fucking god. What the hell is going on? Who are these people? Has to be a flashback because Gerard is like the leader.
Bring them back alive. Alive. Go by the code.
Even by that look alone, you can get the vibes that Gerard even back then didn't want to follow the code.
They were there for 2 days, waiting, hiding.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're taught to do when the hunters find us.
But who was that though? We obviously, so there were 3 people. One of them said you're a Hale, and unfortunately that other guy was the one who died. So we know that one of these people is a Hale. I would think Derek maybe, considering Cora's having this conversation and that. But then who would the other person be? Were they also a Hale or were they someone else? Because we didn't actually get any info about that.
His boss nearly got ritually sacrificed. A girl that I've known since I was 3 was ritually sacrificed.
Yeah, a lot's been happening, bless.
He wasn't like this when I knew him.
What was he like?
Oh.
A lot like Scott, actually.
Oh, really?
Well, the same thing that changes a lot of young men. A girl.
You're telling me some
Kate?
girl broke his little...
I assume we're talking about Kate.
You know why some wolves have blue eyes?
Oh?
If you want to know what changed Derek, you need to know what changed the color of his eyes.
Oh. So I was under the impression that Omegas had blue eyes, and that was just like a thing. If you're an Omega, you have blue eyes, boom. But I've always been wondering that, because for a while, Scott was not part of a pack, and yet Scott didn't have blue eyes, so it always threw me off a bit. So, okay, we're getting into the actual meanings now. Thank fuck for that, because I've been wondering for so long what all of these colors mean. The only thing that we've really got, like, solidified is that red means alpha, you know? But, okay. I assume we are talking about, Kate, though, because we got all of that information in Season 1, didn't we? That she got close to him, used that information to get information about his family, ended up burning down his family home. Like, it was a lot, which obviously would traumatize anyone. So if it's not Kate, then my god, Derek has not had a good run with women.
Did you bring him?
What? Why?
You don't have to do this.
If you want me to talk, this is how it's gonna happen.
Okay, sure. Piss off, Gerard. Such an annoying little bastard. Hopefully it doesn't mean that Scott takes on, like, whatever this disease is, and it just is the pain. Interesting. His eyes were yellow again there, though. What is going on? They're just fancying when they're going to turn red. Oh my god. I didn't even realize that I was still doing that in my head.
Do you guys mind?
Oh, we're in another flashback.
No, see, I was practicing in the music room, and I'm pretty sure basketball practice takes place in the gym.
You tell him, girly. I assume that's Derek, though.
If you get the ball from me, maybe I'll stop.
Oh, fuck him up, girly. Take that ball and push him to the ground. Oh my god, you are so annoying. Punch him around the face or something. I'd be so annoyed.
Alright, I'll tell you my name. If you can play one instrument in this room.
Any of them.
Does he know how to play an instrument? I was gonna say, is there a triangle?
My name's Paige.
Paige.
Now please go so I can practice.
Who is Paige? Okay. I mean, unfortunately, because we know nothing about her and she doesn't seem like she's around, I sense that this does not go down well for her.
Right after. Almost like it was expected he'd survive.
I was about to say they already had a contingency.
Dark Druid isn't your wise veterinarian himself.
No, if we're going down that route, I don't think Deaton is Dark Druid at all. It could be, like, they could throw it as a spanner in the works, but I don't think so. I think it's going to be someone else. There are currently a few characters in the show that we don't know a lot about them, so I'm thinking it could go down that route. But to get back to what we were talking about just then, so we do have confirmation. It was not Kate. I was thinking it was her due to the trauma of the house burning down and everything, but nope. It's some girl named Paige. But like I said, we have no information about her. Derek doesn't talk about her. She doesn't seem like she's still in town or anything. I'm thinking Girly Pop might have died or something, and it was a big turning point moment for Derek, and it turned him into this, like, ice cold hard exterior kind of guy. So we'll see. Hopefully it's not down that route of, like, she died because of him, because that would be uber painful. But honestly, with the way that this show goes and the way it tortures its characters, I feel like it might be.
Doctors have no clue why my body keeps producing and injecting this bizarre black fluid.
I'm surprised they sent him to a normal hospital to be studied. Like, ugh.
I can tell you one thing.
Nice, Allison.
Deucalion may have lost his eyes, but he's not always blind.
Is it what we were getting at before? Is it something to do with his, like, heightened senses as a wolf?
How old were you? How old are you now?
Not as young as we could have been, but not as old as you might think.
Okay, that was frustratingly vague.
That is actually a question I've had this entire show, is how fucking old is Derek's uncle? Because he doesn't seem that much older than Derek. So maybe the two people that we saw in the past was him and Derek, but that would mean that they were, like, very close in age, which would equally feel strange. But not unheard of, you know? People have kids at different points in life. Some people have a very big age gap between when they had their first and second kid. So that could very well be the case. But yeah, I like the way we're going with this episode so far. Kind of like different groups gathering their own bits of information / like bits from the past, you know?
Frantic groping in any dark corner they can manage to find themselves alone in for 5 minutes.
I mean, we didn't need to say frantic groping.
It was an abandoned distillery outside of Beacon Hills.
Oh, I just realized he was born a werewolf, yeah. So he is a werewolf right now.
Back then, I wasn't just Derek's uncle. I was his best friend, his closest confidant.
God, this is such a big development for their history, considering what happened in season 1.
Why do you like me?
What's that supposed to mean?
Huh?
Why do you like me?
Gully, you're
I think I like
beautiful. You seem lovely when it comes to your personality.
Now that I know you like me, that I'm gonna stop liking you.
Not worried. Just wondering when.
Oh, kind of accepted it as a fact in her mind. Bless.
Hey, what's wrong?
Something happened to you.
What do you mean?
Oh?
I caught a scent. It's blood.
A scent, Derek. Is this maybe where they... Oh, shit. Who is that? I feel like they look familiar. Is that Ennis?
See it?
It is. Subtitle confirmed it. Oh, shit.
They dragged
Oh, it's them. So we got the alpha pack here. They still have their betas, though, which is interesting. So curious to see where this goes. Are we going to see the beginning of them killing their betas? Because I thought that it was a matter of they didn't know each other. Like, they didn't know each other existed, and Deucalion found them each individually and convinced them to kill their betas and join him. But it doesn't seem like that's the case. So I guess we'll see how this develops. I was thinking we were going to get like a backstory of Derek, but I wondered how it linked to the story. So now that we got this, okay, so we're talking about the whole alpha pack.
They killed one of ours.
One of yours. Why should I care about one of your pack?
Because the
Interesting.
hunters don't discern packs.
Yeah, I was going to say, they don't go after certain packs, they just go after werewolves.
Because your young, naive beta killed one of them.
Oh shit.
He killed a hunter, didn't he?
Accidentally.
How do you kill someone accidentally?
There was an exceptionally powerful alpha who did live here. She had a capacity to shapeshift that was rare among her kind.
Oh.
The kind of person that they would go to advice and guidance.
Okay, hell yeah. Is this the leader? Is this someone from Derek's family? Ah, so she could shape. Oh, because we've seen this once before, haven't we? In Derek's sister. So this is either Derek's sister herself, or maybe like Derek's mum, Derek's grandmother, someone else in the family. So this is like a family thing then. So transforming into a physical wolf is a rarity among their kind. Okay. I've wondered if we were going to bring this back, because it's been a question I've had since season 1, because it's the only time that we've seen an actual wolf rather than a werewolf, you know? So That's really cool. Ooh.
Talia
Talia Hale, okay. I'll try and say Talia, but my brain always says Talia, so I'll try and keep that in mind.
Don't make us part of a historical cliche. Comes a war, murder becomes a massacre, and we end up no better than our enemies.
Deucalion seems like so full of, I don't know, values and being a decent person, which I was not expecting. I suppose maybe he got twisted over time. Maybe the hunters truly did start going after them one by one, and it caused Deucalion to like lose his shit, which then caused him to go down a route for power, killing his betas. And I assume once you start killing your betas and everything, you're probably going to go a little bit loopy in and of your own right, you know? Ah, okay. That's cool, though. That's really cool.
Our mark for vendetta.
Losing a member of your pack isn't like losing family. It's like you lose a limb.
They wouldn't even let him see the body.
Okay. Damn. Bless.
This is a homicide investigation. Second, no matter how close you were, you're not related.
Yeah, not related, can't see the body and everything, but like, more than related, you know, when you're a part of a pack. It sucks that you can't explain that to the general person, but I'm surprised that Ennis actually went here, because surely he would know that he can't do that, but I suppose in the moment of frustration and being so emotional, of course you can do something like this, you know? But yeah, so cool to see, Deputy Stilinski, I was about to say Sheriff Stilinski, before he got the big badge.
Derek saw something different. He saw opportunity to always be with her.
Opportunity to always be with her. Are we talking like Derek saw an opportunity to take the alpha from Ennis because he was in a weakened state and then turn girly pop?
What are you staring at?
I'm not staring.
Girly pop don't need advanced sensors to feel you there.
I hate you.
No, you don't.
I'm sorry, am I distracting you?
You love me.
Aww. This is so sad thinking about the fact that this is Derek and we've never heard of her. We've never seen this side of Derek.
The thing was, he had this constant fear, was obsessing over it, thinking
Losing her?
all night, all day, always on his mind.
Why does she eat alone? What are you doing here?
Oh, it didn't take until it being light that I realized that's the exact same actor they used. Was it last season when Derek's uncle came? Yeah, it was last season when Lydia was seeing literally Peter Hale when he was younger. It's the same actor, so that's cool. Is he still at the school then? Is he that young, or is he just like snuck on to talk to Derek?
Probably be thinking about it all the time.
Thinking about what?
Or finding out.
Yeah, I was
Thought that
thinking
through, right?
he was born a werewolf, so he is one right now, so he's probably thinking, fuck.
She doesn't have to find out.
But they always do.
You can't go your entire life without her finding out. What do you mean?
Only one way to make sure you'll always be together.
Turn her?
Turn her.
No, that's not love. That's horrible. If she wants to be churned? I don't think she wants to be churned. If she wants to be turned, then okay, but don't force it on her.
The more he thought about it, the more convinced he became. You know, teenagers, but he even blames me.
I mean, you did just like put that idea into his head, and well, not put that idea into his head. We know that it was already in his head, but you're kind of like confirming it with him and like saying the only way to make sure so I feel like there is a little bit of blame that could go to you, but we know that Derek was thinking about it already, so I feel like he would have gone down this path anyway, but fuck. Oh, we know that not everyone survives the bite/scratch. Are you telling me that Derek actually went through with it? He got to the point of getting her turned, but she didn't survive?
Told you about the packs being here, right? There are more alphas than I've ever seen in one place.
You sneaky bastard.
One little bite, and she never gets sick again. She stays younger, more beautiful.
So you literally did talk him into it, you little wanker. Wow. Why though? Why did Peter Hale do that? Why did he talk him into it so much? What is the purpose of that? To make him lose her? Was that a plan?
Cutting or harming the tree in any way would cause serious problems for the surrounding villages.
What sort of problems?
Fires, plagues, strife, death and destruction of all kinds.
Jesus.
Wolves had a relationship with the druids. They called them emissaries.
Okay.
Like my boss, Deaton.
Yeah, he worked with the Hales, didn't he?
They couldn't make Lycaon and his sons human again, but they did teach them how to shift back and forth.
Okay, so obviously this is a legend and you can't take stuff like this as absolute fact, but interesting. So it could very well shift back to the idea that even though the gods and magic and everything turn them into wolves in the first place, the druids are what gave them a semblance of humanity back. That's so cool though. What are the extents of like modern druid powers? You know, what can they do now? Because that sounds very powerful to me. I guess we'll see, because Deaton really hasn't given us a lot. You know, we've seen Mountain Ash stuff, we've seen like some other little bit tidbits of information, but we haven't been given a lot. And I really want to fucking know.
But they're a secret even in the pack. Sometimes only the alpha knows who the emissary is. Derek and I had no idea about Deaton.
Oh.
She's an emissary too?
For the Alpha Pack.
Our guidance counselor? Why the hell don't you people tell me any of this stuff?
Honestly though, honestly, it's so annoying.
And did she give you good advice?
Actually, yeah. That's what they do. That's what Deaton used to do for Talia.
So yeah, they basically just give them advice about everything, okay.
You think Gerard isn't worried about the deaths on his own side?
Do you know the story of the scorpion and the frog?
The feeling I'm about to hear it.
When the frog asked him why he did it, since now they would both die, the scorpion replied, "It's my nature."
That is a great link to Gerard. That is a fantastic link to Gerard.
I'm an alpha. I never walk alone.
Well, give yourself a few years, mate. You will be walking alone. Ennis. Has Derek asked Ennis to turn her? Is that what this is? Oh, God. He did, because he's literally here waiting. Wow. That's crazy, Derek.
Doing a favor for Derek meant Ennis would be in good with Talia. Back then, everybody wanted to be in good with her.
Right, I understand that side of things. I don't understand the fact that Derek is doing all of this to try and keep Paige safe, to try and keep Paige good, to try and make sure that they're going to be together forever, you know? But then if she gets in Ennis's pack, Ennis doesn't live in the area. He's only here to, like, speak with Talia and all that for a short amount of time. So that doesn't really make sense to me. Because Paige is going to have to leave with Ennis after.
When Kane met Ennis, there's no reason for him to fight. She'd already been bitten.
Oh, did she just not survive the transformation?
How do you know he wasn't going there to make peace? Because I'm not an idiot.
You're also
You know
an extremely untrustworthy
Sanskrit
person. So.
fable of the scorpion and the turtle.
That is crazy. They both were on the same thing. Interesting frog and turtle, though.
Volatile is exactly the state I was hoping to avoid.
I have to say, Deucalion does have that kind of English accent that even I like.
They attacked you?
It was an ambush.
You actual asshole, Gerard. Oh, I love how we're seeing the similarities between Gerard and Peter Hale, where they are both extremely untrustworthy people. Both of them, I have to say, I've never looked at either of them and thought, oh yeah, you know what, I trust you. Not only did Peter completely lie about his involvement with Derek's story, Gerard is completely twisting this. We can clearly see Gerard went on the attack, not only against the werewolves, but his own people. He literally set this off so that only he was immune. Everyone else gets fucked, even his own guys. That is actually crazy.
Made one of my own. Love to get your opinion on it.
Has that got wolf claws? God, he's killing his own men with it to be shown that he went, like, the wolves went after them. Oh my God. You crazy bastard.
So did she turn?
Most of the time, the bite takes. Most of the time.
Wow.
What's happening to her?
He didn't even know that it wasn't a possibility. I wonder genetically what keeps you from turning. Is this perhaps where he loses his sight? Oh, I'm actually stupid, guys. You know, I was questioning earlier, I wonder what changes Deucalion from having his morals and everything. I was thinking it would be a scenario like this. I forgot about the fact that he lost his eyesight as well. So I assume a scenario like this where you're kind of, what do you call it? Like, you're defeated morally, you're defeated within your own mind because you think, what the fuck? Like, how could you do this? To then equally also lose your eyesight to that person and that event and everything. Of course you're going to completely shift as a person.
A little short-sighted, wouldn't you say?
Wow. Oh my God. That's fucking crazy. I don't even know how to process that.
Right after I told you my name, I think I knew.
Well, that she loved.
I've seen things in this town before, things no one really could explain.
Oh.
How you say things like how you'd catch a scent.
Yeah.
I know.
You still liked me.
That's fucking heartbreaking.
I loved you.
That's heartbreaking that she knew was so down to love him, and then that is so horrible. I don't even know how I would process that, Derek. Jesus Christ.
I can't take it anymore. Please.
Oh my God. Please end it. Jesus Christ. That's even worse. Honestly, though, with everything that's happened here, you owe her this, you know. And is that when his eyes turn blue? Do your eyes turn blue when you, like, lose something? When you, like, have, like, a huge loss in your life?
Taking an innocent life takes a bit of your soul, dimming the once brilliant golden yellow
Ah.
to a cold, steel blue.
I never really thought about the idea of, like, a blue being cold. So is it literally, is it, like, plain and simple you take an innocent life, thereby your eyes turn blue? Is that how that works? Or could it be a multitude of things that make it happen, but the point is that you've lost a part of yourself, you've lost, i.e. a part of your soul, and so it takes away the brightness from your life, you know? That is so fucking sad, though. I don't even know what to say any more than that, you know? That is just horrible. Bloody hell. I'm so sorry, Derek. I do also equally feel like, why the fuck did you go through with that, you know? Like, I have a little bit of, like, anger towards Derek and everything, but then Peter Hale was talking him into it. I just feel like the thing that's annoyed me the most in all of this is Peter just giving absolute zero accountability for his role in things. You know, like, he is absolutely not admitting how into it, that sounds weird, how involved he was in all of this, you know? Like, come on now, be fucking honest. Tell him how it is.
You are alone.
Oh. Turned on him because he thought he wouldn't be like a good alpha or something? And he kills him. Oh, wait, yeah. You can see. Oh my God.
He sees as a wolf.
Sorry. I would love to just continue with that, but what... when I said kill him, I thought, okay, probably just gonna like, dead. That was vicious. That was ferocious. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry, though. Another point in the story that's really annoying me, though, is the fact that fucking Gerard made Deucalion. Gerard caused all of this because he's a fucking asshole. But I was thinking heightened senses and everything, maybe it gives him some form of sight. I didn't think that he would actually be able to see. So, okay, when he's in his wolf form, he can see. That makes sense, then, as to why he's retained his power and everything, then.
I don't believe you. The whole time that you were telling your story, I was listening to your heartbeat.
Oh.
It never went up. It never went down. It was steady the whole time.
It's kind of like that idea that because it was too perfect.
If you lied and it gets people hurt, be back to take away more than your pain.
Fuck yeah, Scott. Oh, I wish he had like a flash of the red in front of Gerard there. That'd have been sick. Put the fear in Gerard's heart.
I just don't believe him. It's in first person, right? Narrated by Marlowe. The thing is that he's an unreliable narrator.
Yes! Oh, I love that.
Are you just gonna ask Derek about a girl he fell in love with?
I think that it may not be so cut and dry as the bite rejected her. I'm thinking maybe Peter had something to do with why it rejected her. Maybe Peter did something that kind of like messed with the bite and everything and got to a point where she wasn't going to be able to turn and it was actually going to kill her. Maybe like introduced some kind of like poison, maybe used mountain ash or something, or even could probably go down the route of saying, because we know that Peter was right there and obviously Ennis was distracted by Scott, and then right afterwards we saw the bite. Could Peter have like run up, bit her and run back, and then it seemed like Ennis did it? Because then that would mean it's not the bite that she's rejecting, it's just the fact that she's losing blood. She's dying, as any human would if they were bit, you know? I think there's many options that we could go down, but I 1000% think that Peter was somehow involved in her death. My big question is, though, why? Why did he want Derek to go down that route, if that is the case?
I did something terrible.
I know.
Could she have been involved, if we're going down the route I'm thinking? And here he is. Oh wow, thank God for that subtitle, because I wouldn't have made that connection that this was Paige playing. So Derek's been hiding out of the distillery, okay? No! Oh, that was such a good episode. No. Oh, that's so fucking annoying. I hate when we get a really good episode only because every single time that it ends, it hurts. But oh well. There we have season 3, episode 8 of Teen Wolf, and I have to say, I know it was like it was an episode where like not a lot happened in modern day, but I think that was my favorite episode of the entire show so far. I have to say, there was something about it, something about like Stars was bringing up, the idea of this unreliable narrator, but not just like, because normally when you're looking at an unreliable narrator, you're not actually seeing the truth, you're just seeing what they're telling you, and you know that they're unreliable, but you don't know what the real truth is, you know, and that's where a lot of the mystery is. But I actually enjoyed that they showed us the truth, because it kind of added to that element of, we can't trust Peter Hale. It's been something that has been very evident throughout this entire show. He has never been someone that I've thought, yes, Peter, thank you, you're so great, you're so trustworthy. Like, no, he's never been someone that I would have assigned any of those values to. And so to actually have that confirmed for the audience, and now to see our characters basically be in that state where you would be if you were just hearing it from the unreliable narrator and you didn't get to see the rest. It's nice to see them in that state of they don't know what's the truth. They don't know what's a lie, but they know that something is up. And so they're going to try and figure out more. And I genuinely think, when it comes to Peter and everything, I think that he had something to do with Paige's death. I think that he went through all of this telling Derek to turn her and everything so that she would die. But I don't know why. I can't put it in, like, I can't figure out in my head what the purpose of that would be. Now, we know that Derek's mum evidently came in at the end and knew everything and all that, but I'm thinking maybe she was part of it as well then. I'm thinking maybe she had a hand to play in all of this, and maybe it was a plan that they both had. I don't know. We don't really know much about her to make an opinion about that, but the way that she just suddenly knew everything as if Peter had reported back to her makes me a little bit suspicious. But yeah, to loop back to what I was saying before though, absolutely fantastic episode. Favorite for the fact that we got so much backstory on so many characters, even backstory that I wasn't expecting. Like, obviously we were expecting to find out about the Alpha Pack, expecting to find out how that all happened, and obviously we saw the way that Deucalion got blinded. We saw his first kill from one of his betas, and actually how he absorbed their power, and then now he's going to start his rampage of killing them all. We saw how his like morals were changed, how he did actually seem to be a really good guy and someone who like wanted peace and everything, but evidently trauma changed him. But the stuff that I wasn't expecting was simply just like finding out about Derek and his relationship with his family, and also finding out about his family, like his mother being this like amazing wolf and everything, but also the fact that we saw his relationship with Peter and how it went all the way back there. They were best friends, which that throws everything up in the air for season 1 and 2. You know, like that completely shatters my past views on all of their interactions. Because at first, like, you hear uncle and you think, when I think about my relationship with my uncles, it's like, yeah, they're family and everything, but I don't talk to them that much. I'm not really close to them. I don't see them that often. But to, like, say that you were best friends when you were younger, you spoke to each other all the time, you shared everything, like, that's a deep bond, a deep connection. So it'll be interesting going back to season 1 and 2 and rewatching them and seeing it with that point of view, you know? Because that would completely shift their relationship. And it would make a lot more sense how quickly Derek shifted over to Peter Hale's side right at the beginning of him coming back, you know? Right at the end of season 1. But yeah, I am willing to say that I might be wrong with the Peter Hale stuff, but I feel like he had to be involved in the death. The way he was explaining it, the way that he was talking about it, felt so much like it was some kind of plan that Peter had. But then what would the plan be if, like, she just got turned and was with Derek forever and they were in love? Like, that doesn't feel right. It feels more sinister. It feels like there was some, like, evil intention. So we'll see, but I am willing to think that I might just be reading into it because of my own opinions on Peter. But yeah, I have to say, one tiny downer for the episode, and it wasn't even a downer for the episode, it's literally just a personal thing. I don't like that Gerard is back, just because there are so many villains in TV history where I adore them. I mean, my favorite character in all of Avatar: Last Airbender is Azula. Like, I love a villain. Villains are some of the most interesting and complex characters, and they're always my favorites. But a villain like Gerard, it's like, I don't even have that like love or respect or wanting to see more of them. I simply don't want them around anymore. Like, I'm just done with Gerard. He is an awful person. He is a horrendous person. Killed his own people using a mace that was designed to make it look like the wolves killed them. They walked in there basically about to begin a peace talk. Everyone was down except Gerard, and yet he went and killed everyone. Like, it gets to a certain point with certain villains where I am done, and I'm done with Gerard. And so it's like, even though it was a fantastic point of view from the episode, and I love that they're like exploring that side of things, a part of me is annoyed that Gerard is still in the story, because I'm like, can you just fuck off already? I've had enough. But with that said, though, it did not take away from the episode as a whole. It was absolutely fantastic. Loving the vibe of the season so far. I feel like people keep telling me, I know I bring this up a lot, but people keep telling me, oh, I can't wait for you to get to 3B. And I'm like, 3A has been some of the most amazing television that I've seen in a while. Like, I am so fucking hooked on this. I'm so down to get to 3B because I know that people are loving it, but 3A has been fucking phenomenal, so I can't wait to see what the hell 3B is all on about. But yes, anyway, with that said though, I believe I've covered all of the points I wanted to talk about on the episode, so let's have a look at some Patreon questions. Right, our first and only question: how do you think the events we learn about Derek's earlier life present themselves in his current life? And do you think his trauma is more prevalent with him around specific characters? Oh, that's an interesting point at the end. To answer the first part of the question about how his like earlier life things present in his current life, Derek has always been a very cold, very distant person. It's always felt very much like Derek doesn't really like feel for the people around him. He feels very just like cold. And so to actually get this insight where he did seem very much, like we were saying earlier in the episode, like Scott, it's crazy to look at him now and see that big difference, but it's also completely understandable. Like, you talk about trauma, you talk about loss and how that affects a person. To have this person that you deeply love to then go about something that didn't need to happen. It's not like she was dying and you tried to get her bitten to save her. You did it just out of fear and wanting her to stay around and everything. And so by doing that, she then died. Like, oh my God, I completely understand why that would shift him as a person and why that would completely ice his heart out, you know? Like, my God. I can't imagine what that would feel like. And to blame yourself every single day. I mean, we saw in that moment that he was back at the distillery, looking at the spiral, the music that Paige used to play was playing in the background. And I like to think that it wasn't just playing in the background. I like to think that it was kind of like a symbol for playing in Derek's head and thinking about her, you know? So obviously hasn't left him. I mean, he's still in the exact same town that he's lived in his whole life that she died in. So I definitely think that kind of thing haunts you. And we can definitely see the way that has affected Derek as a whole. I mean, even when it comes to him being an alpha with the pack and everything, it's like he was never caring for them because you compare it to Scott, and I always think back to this. I know I've brought it up a few times, but that moment in the club with him and Isaac, Scott and Isaac, where Scott showed genuine care for Isaac, and you could see on Isaac's face that it was like a shock. It wasn't something that he could easily process because he's not used to it. And at that point, he had already been in Derek's pack for a while. So you think Derek must have been very cold and distant towards all of his betas, and that definitely must stem from that as well. His inability to connect with people, his inability to care, because as soon as he cares, it kind of brings all of those feelings back in. So I love this episode for that simple fact alone. Obviously, there's a multitude of reasons why I love the episode, but Derek's backstory has completely changed my view of him as a character and has made him a lot more complex, because at first I was just kind of like, Derek has never been my favorite character in the show. He's just felt very distant to me. And so the fact that we find out that he's distant with everyone for good reason, it's like, that makes a lot of sense, you know? But moving on from that, the second part of the question, do you think his trauma is more prevalent with him around specific characters? That's a very good point. It's hard for me to comment on, only because I've just found this out. And so, like, trying in my memory to link that back to how he's with certain characters is hard. I think that when we talk about certain characters, as I've already discussed, when it comes to his betas and everything, it's very prevalent there. Like, you can feel that he is very distant from them. But when you look at his relationship with Peter Hale, it's very complicated. Like, there's obviously some trust there. There's obviously a bond there, but equally there's a lot of mistrust. There's a lot of negativity in their relationship with each other. And so to find out that it's because they were so close in the past, but he has still done so many things to Derek, it's a very complex relationship, his relationship with his uncle. And I'm excited to see going forward more examples of that now that we know the backstory. Because it's hard, honestly, it's hard for me to comment on it considering I've only seen this show once and I've only just found out about this with Derek, because I am struggling to link back how this may have affected him with certain individual people rather than him as a person. So I'm excited to get more to that point when I'm editing it for YouTube, because it will let me kind of take this knowledge and see Derek in a different way. But yeah, very good question. Thank you for that, because it's kind of shifted me more to look towards the individual relationships that Derek's had, and I'm very intrigued to see where that goes from here going forward, you know. But yes, anyway, with that said, though, that was an absolutely fantastic episode. Favorite episode of the season. I can't wait to see where we go from here when it comes to basically everyone. Like, we had such a big lore drop that everyone has been affected by this, and I'm very, very excited to see how it affects the rest of the season. But yes, anyway, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I left a link down below to my Patreon, where you're able to find the early and uncut reactions to Teen Wolf and all the other shows that I do. Also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you're interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.